encouraging guys, always motivating guys to go out there and just keep working hard. You know, even one of them off days, you know, you don't feel like working or doing anything either. I mean, now that I got a daughter, you know, it just gives me a lot more motivation to keep grinding and do it for my little ones.
The Denver Broncos had one of the most impressive turnarounds in this entire offseason by trading for Russell Wilson. And one of the biggest beneficiaries of the Russell Wilson trade, Jerry Jeudy, has just been taken into custody. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, according to Adam Schefter, Ari Meirov, and originally Ryan O'Halloran, Jerry Jeudy is in some trouble. Before we break down everything that's going down, you guys know how these controversial videos tend to end up. Whenever we cover arrests or something a little bit darker, YouTube demonetizes my content, which means it doesn't get pushed to a larger audience, which means I don't get paid for this video, which I don't really care. If you want to support the channel financially, there's a channel memberships program and there's perks if you join that. But what I really care about is the fact that the video won't get pushed out to a larger audience. You can combat that by leaving a like on this video, and if you subscribe and turn on our notifications on this channel, you'll enter for a chance to win $500, and the giveaway winner is going to be announced in 3 days. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The Denver Broncos essentially started the biggest arms race in the entire NFL. By trading for Russell Wilson over this past offseason, the Denver Broncos started a war between themselves, the Los Angeles Chargers, and of course, the Las Vegas Raiders. And as a football fan and a Patrick Mahomes fan, I personally am here for it. I think the AFC West is going to be the most exciting division in the entire NFL, and I don't think many of you guys would disagree with me. Now, one of the biggest beneficiaries of the Russell Wilson trade is none other than Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy was the second wide receiver that was selected in the storied 2020 NFL draft. A draft that boasted the likes of Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman Jr., Chase Claypool. This is a draft that's going to go down in NFL history for really bringing us some of the best wide receivers in the modern NFL. And the one individual that didn't necessarily have his potential tapped into was Jerry Jeudy. In year one, Jerry Jeudy had 856 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, and this is with having Drew Lock as his quarterback. In year two, unfortunately, he didn't play as many games because he suffered an injury. But year 3 was supposed to be his breakout season. He's been putting in work with Russell Wilson all off season long. I mean, it's something that you'll see on a weekly basis. Him and Russell Wilson are really working on their chemistry with one another. As a matter of fact, Jerry Jeudy even came out and said straightforward that he is a great quarterback and he is getting me better. Russell Wilson even admitted they have put extra work in. So as a result, if you're a Denver Broncos fan, I'm looking at you, Brandon Perna. You guys are probably really freaking excited for this season. And this is the year that Jerry Jeudy is supposed to take that next step to a 1,000-yard receiver. Unfortunately, we got some bad news in regards to Jerry Jeudy. This is originally coming to us from Ryan O'Halloran, who says the Arapahoe, I apologize for butchering that, county sheriff's office says that Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy was taken into custody between 11:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. today. Jerry Jeudy hasn't been booked yet, so no information yet on charges. Now, as time went on, Ari Meirov reported this himself, saying pretty much the same thing, and that it was confirmed to multiple news outlets, but at this time, there's no information available, and eventually Adam Schefter would report it about 40 minutes later on his Twitter account as well. Now, currently the Denver Broncos are aware of this situation. Now, what's ironic about this is a few days ago, KJ Hamler came out and said that he wants to play the Tyler Lockett role for Russell Wilson in Denver, but this could be a very serious situation for the Denver Broncos. They might potentially lose their #1 wide receiver. So as time went on, we got a little bit more clarity as to what is going on with Jerry Jeudy, and there were some really messed up rumors out there, which is why I took my time before making this video to make sure we got all the facts straight. So the first tweet is going to come from probably the most credible source of all, Adam Schefter. I'm just kidding. Is probably going to come from the most credible source of all, and that is the actual sheriff's department that arrested Jerry Jeudy, the Arapahoe Sheriff's Department. So according to the Arapahoe Sheriff's Department's Twitter account, professional football player Jerry Jeudy has been arrested by Arapahoe sheriff deputies. He's being held at the Arapahoe jail on charges of second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer. This is a misdemeanor. He's on a no bond hold and he's innocent until proven guilty. So there's some questions that are answered in this situation. Is it a felony? Most definitely not. But is Jerry Jeudy being booked and currently in jail? Yes, he is. Is this a domestic issue? Yes, it also is. But you might be wondering,
yo, Mike, what the hell is second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer?
once you hear the word DV, a part of me just starts to freak out a little bit. So here's how it's defined for those of you guys that don't know what second-degree criminal tampering is. According to Andrew Mason and Tom Pelissaro and multiple other sources, second-degree criminal tampering is defined as tampering with property of another with intent to cause injury, inconvenience, or annoyance to that person or to another, or if he knowingly makes an unauthorized connection with property of a utility. So this doesn't necessarily paint the direct picture of what Jerry Jeudy did, but what you should know is Jerry Jeudy messed with someone's stuff, probably someone that he has a relationship with, and as a result, he got arrested for doing this. Now, for those of you guys wondering how serious the punishment could be for Jerry Jeudy, it's not necessarily something that could ruin his season for Broncos fans that are concerned. Rather, it's something that it's a misdemeanor. It's relatively minor to the worst case scenario, like what Earl Thomas is unfortunately dealing with. Andrew Mason continues to say, criminal tampering is a class 2 misdemeanor, carrying up to 120 days in jail and or up to $750 in fines. But the domestic violence enhancer on Jeudy's charge is key, as it would increase the potential punishment if convicted. So currently, we don't know if Jerry Jeudy is going to miss games because it's too early to tell and we don't have enough details yet. It really depends on what the enhancer is. It could literally enhance the punishment that Jerry Jeudy is going to deal with. And I guess that's what makes the situation a little spooky. Personally, I'm hoping that he didn't do anything too horrible. Unfortunately, we've been getting a lot of these stories more recently. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious, but let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this. Of course, you know Jerry Jeudy's teammate in Alabama and the individual that got drafted 2 picks above him, Henry Ruggs, unfortunately ruined his life this past year by getting behind the wheel drunk. I don't know what Jerry Jeudy's fate is going to be, but from the very early preliminary understanding that we have of all the information provided to us, it seems like it's relatively mild, but again, it's all dependent upon what the domestic violence enhancer is. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.